If Spike Lee remakes your movie, does that make it less insulting? You're watching Beyond the Trailers review of Oldboy, the Hollywood version.
What happened to him?
He showed up last night.
I need your help, Chucky.
I haven't seen the guy in like 20 years.
Who are you?
If you were trying to find your daughter and clear your name, I could help you.
If you would like to see your daughter alive again, answer 2 questions. 1, why did I imprison you for 20 years? And 2, why did I let you go?
Back in 2000, South Korean film critic Park Chan-wook crossed over to the other side, finally realizing his dream of becoming a renowned filmmaker himself, with Joint Security Area, a mystery thriller about a shooting inside the demilitarized zone between North and South Korea. It quickly became South Korea's highest-grossing film of all time and paved the way for Park Chan-wook to ascend from accomplished director to true artist. His muse? Violence. Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, his second film, would become the first chapter in his Vengeance trilogy, whose most famous entry is arguably 2003's Oldboy. That's because the beautifully bizarre qualities of that film have captivated Western audiences. It won the Grand Prix at the 2004 Cannes Film Festival, where thankfully, fellow violence connoisseur Quentin Tarantino was president of the jury. But even beyond Tarantino, Oldboy has been praised by numerous Western critics, including Roger Ebert, and was even voted by viewers on CNN as one of the greatest Asian films of all time. Another recent foreign film that captivated critics and film lovers across the globe was Sweden's Let the Right One In. The 2008 vampire flick, also a disturbing yet beautiful piece of filmmaking, was remade in 2010 by Cloverfield's Matt Reeves. When Swedish director Tomas Alfredson heard his film was being remade, he remarked that films should only be remade if they didn't work in the first place. Let Me In was a box office disappointment, yet still doubled the original's haul. Likewise, despite all its praise, the original Oldboy has only made about $15 million worldwide. This American version, with Spike Lee directing and Josh Brolin starring, is expected to only make about $20 million in the US, less than its $30 million budget. Too bad original remake dream team Steven Spielberg and Will Smith dropped out, huh? But at the end of the day, does anyone really have anything riding on this? Brolin's already a critical darling, with Jason Reitman's upcoming Labor Day and even just willing to take the risk of remaking Oldboy, helping to cement that status. Meanwhile, Park Chan-wook has already crossed over to Hollywood on his own with Stoker, just as Alfredson did with Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. And Spike Lee? Well, sure, he could use a box office hit, but he's a film legend. Even dissing Django Unchained can't hurt him. So it looks like the only one with something to lose here is the audience. My eyes! My brain! I knew this was going to be a disturbing film through my research, but I thought, hey, it's highly regarded, toughen up, Grace. But I should have trusted my instincts. This is one of the most disturbing films I've ever seen. And I highlight seen because don't underestimate how much more disturbing it is to see something happen instead of just hear about it or read about it. You know what this reminded me of? You might have heard of these recent infamous feces paintings, and where, the artistic technique might be really well done and it might be hanging in a gallery, but still at the end of the day, it's poop smeared on fabric. And that's kind of what I would say this film is like. It's just a giant poop painting. And as good a job as Spike Lee, James Brolin, Elizabeth Olsen, the entire cast, Sharlto Copley, I don't know, he might have jumped the shark here. He elicited some laughs in the screening I was in. But at the end of the day, they're still all just painting with poop. Now, if you hear, oh, poop painting, neat, well then maybe you will like Oldboy. But if you're going to go see it, go see the original. Because if you're going to see something so disturbed and deranged, you might as well see the version by the guy who came up with it. Because the whole time I was watching it, I was like, what is the point of this? You didn't even think of this weird stuff. You're just aping and emulating it. So that's what I would say. Although between the two, some people might wonder, are there any differences? From what I can gather, and I've only seen this one, trust me, you're not going to want to sit through this story twice. I really doubt it. So whichever version you pick is going to be the version you see. But as for this Hollywood version, they have some small but vital changes, which I think is going to leave a lot of fans of the original scratching their head as to why those changes were made. I mean, I guess kind of at the heart of it, I don't want to give any spoilers, but maybe they thought this was more palatable to American mainstream audiences, but there's just no way this is going to go down with the mainstream. I cannot warn you enough. Forget like X rating or XXX. I feel like they should warn you when you buy your ticket, and then they should stand at the door of the theater right before you go in and say, are you sure? because this is going to scar your brain. Now again, some of you are going to be like, hot damn, I want to have my brain scarred. So go ahead, I warned you, and maybe you'll enjoy it. I mean, obviously a lot of people like the original Oldboy. I can't understand it personally from the opening that as I outlined, but wow. I saw it like a week ago, and it's just like, I'm going to forget. You know how kind of like the reaction he has? And maybe that's the point. I had a reaction to this movie that you'll see Josh Brolin have at the end of the film. And I think maybe I was robbed of something because I knew of the twists and turns. Maybe part of the experience is that a discovery of disgust and just being appalled. But I'll never know because once the blindfold is ripped off, it's ripped off. But I'd be interested to know, for those of you who do venture into the theater or who've already seen Oldboy, was the discovery of the disgustingness part of what you liked about it? And what do you think of this? Do you agree with my feces on art, our feces art comparison, or do you feel I just need to toughen up? All right, write your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching this review, and you can check out some more episodes right now.